Hello.
Hello, everybody.
How's it going?
Welcome back, Ron.
It's good to be back. I was so bummed to have missed last week's show. A, to miss Juan, and B, to miss
Yeah, it's a big one.
MWC. I know. I was I was out of town, and I was checking all week checking the MWC coverage, and yeah.
Yeah.
And now I've got a cold, and it's
that's fun. I had a cold last week for like 5 days straight.
Yeah.
And that sucked.
Yeah. Change the seasons. It's fine.
It sucks when you get a cold or you get sick like that and you don't have a choice but to work through it. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even like take a break and like just make it a movie day.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I know those. Yeah. If to have it as good as our kids have it when they can just have like a sick day and do nothing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Sometimes I'm okay with getting really sick because it's like a forced break.
Yep.
Welcome.
Hello. Sorry.
Ron is a tad hot. No, that's all right. Ron is a tad hot. Jason is a little low.
All right. I can adjust my thing. Hang on. Let me adjust my thing.
Always all over the place.
How does that sound, Streelin?
Yeah, Ron.
I lowered my little thing.
You did. I'm just getting the relative comparison.
Yeah, there we go. I lowered the box. Flo, how are you? Good to see you.
Hello. Good to see you as well.
Yep.
Like
You were
Flo might
missed.
Be a little low.
I missed you. Yes, I was saying how I missed not only missed you guys and Miss Juan, but missed all the MWC excitement. So
There was some excitement. It wasn't as much as, I'm used to, but there was some,
yep.
so don't feel too bad,
Flow a lot lower. Okay. All right. We're getting there. We're adjusting, y'all. This is what it's all about.
I do apologize to our listeners for arriving late. We start the show around the same time my child comes home from the day, so it's like, hi, Mommy, I need to tell you everything. And I'm like, not right now. After. We can talk after.
Let's see here. So, yeah, I've got your audio turned up all the way in StreamYard, but it still feels a little low. Is your input increasable?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. You talking to me? You talking to me?
Yeah, how's that?
talking to me?
Ooh, that's really hot, but
I think it's better though. I mean,
okay.
on our end.
Yeah,
anyways.
I just turned it up on my monitor.
Okay, Clinton says I sound about right now. Flow turned up in the hardware.
I
Ron,
did.
Yes.
Ron,
How do I sound? Am I all right?
You sound pretty comparable to Flo to me, which means
Okay.
if Flo sounds good to me to others, then you would sound good to me.
But how do we sound to others in the audience? Yeah.
We'll find out. I think we're pretty close though.
Yep.
Now.
Excuse me.
What
Yay.
happened to you? Did you get sick?
I just have a cold. Everyone in the house has a cold right now, so yeah.
Ugh.
Yep.
Yuck. Cool. All right. I think we're good on audio. I made a extra slight adjustment, but I think we're good.
Good.
Yeah. Yep. Household colds suck. Right, Bronson? Yes, that's right. Yeah.
What are you going to
right.
swallow now, Bronson?
What are
Sorry, I
you gonna?
shouldn't
Nothing
make that joke.
except food
Nothing. Sorry.
and water.
Listen, we
And
were
maybe
all
some
there
wood
when it happened
chips.
in
He
real
does
time.
that still. He's that kind of dog. But if I say drop it, he drops it immediately. So I just have to be there when he has something in his mouth. Say drop it. He's okay. I'm sorry.
Fine.
I didn't mean to do it. Except I did. I do it all the time. Yep. All right, we got some fun stuff to bat around today.
To bat around. FYI, and it's okay if I say this on the... well, actually, here, I'll chat you guys real quick.
Okay.
Where?
Without caps. Oh, I'm chatting with you in the StreamYard.
Okay, great. This is just great pre-show content for everyone. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
thank you everyone for being here. So, fun news is they almost finished announcing all the Warped Tour bands. I think there's like 4 left for
jeez.
the Long Beach date.
Fine.
Most of the bands are very reminiscent of my youth between a particular period of time. And I do feel that this is going to be a very, very nostalgic event for me.
I didn't even see what the lineups are.
I haven't even followed.
It's
Warped Tour or
Glassjaw,
anything.
Jimmy Eat World, Papa Roach.
So let's see how many bands that I actually know people in.
Is the Warped Tour like consistently like a flashback, throwback type show?
No, because they actually have a very good mix of new school and old school. So the idea is it's very intergenerational. Like there were a lot of kids. There were a lot of parents who brought their kids. There were a lot of teenagers that were roaming on their own just for like their own Gen Z bands. And so
It's not as many as I would think. Would think. Yeah, I mean, it's really just Jimmy Eat World, Glassjaw, Drug Church. Those are the only ones that I actually know that people.
Hooba Stank. Come on,
Jeez.
Ron.
So
The meaning. The
Yep.
reason.
so.
God, the name of the song.
Why is Third Eye Blind playing it?
They're
Is
not
that
playing
like-
Long Beach. They're playing.
Is that like irony? Is that like an irony booking?
No, they're. I think they're
Third Eye-
playing one of the Canadian.
No, but I guess I'm looking at the DC. Yeah,
No, they're playing DC. Well,
no, but I'm sorry, but Third Eye Blind is not like Warped Tour band. Third Eye
I mean, you
Blind's
say
like
that, but I
Or
had a
are
lot
they?
of friends during that time period who were listening to Third Eye Blind, which always perplexed me a little bit because they were a radio band. So
right.
was
That's what I
like,
mean. They're just regular. Yeah, you know.
anything to
Wow,
make the
it's amazing
$500
how-
VIP tickets worth it.
Oh, jeez. I hardly.
That is
recognize
that
any
is
of
our
these names.
summer vacation, by the way. Is the Warped Tour? I already got the grandparents booked for it. Like we're good. So that's what we're spending our money on this summer. Nobody's
Good for
going
you.
to Venice. Nobody's going to Vegas.
Do you want to see the?
Actually, I am going to Vegas, but not.
Do you want to see the? If we're talking music, do you want to see the festival that I'm excited about?
Yes.
It was just announced. I need to get my ticket actually. It's going to be at a place called Elsewhere here in Brooklyn. Where is it? Let me share my screen. It's a 2-day festival. Share screen window. Here it is. It's called Total Bummer,
Okay.
and it is. Why can I not?
Is it emo?
No, it's shoegaze mainly.
Oh, it's shoegaze. Okay.
Why is it not sharing? There you go. I gotta do that. There you go. So first night is Dinosaur Jr., Blonde Redhead, Meat Puppets. Second night is Jesus and Mary Chain, and I'm excited for Drop 19s. Yeah, so that's
That would be a good.
that's
good
gonna
time
be
right
that's
there.
gonna be a good show. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
Flipper.
Oh, that's happening
Ooh,
at
I
the
haven't
end of
thought
May.
of Flipper in a
Yeah.
long
It's coming
time.
up.
yeah, but Blonde Redhead, oh, so good. No Joy is really good. Yeah, it should be good. So that's what I'm excited about. So, yeah.
I'm more aware of the first night than I am the second or
Yeah.
the first day.
I could do without Meat Puppets. Meat Puppets, which by the way, Flo, do you know why Meat Puppets are important to you?
Why? Because of 90210?
Yes, because they are the band playing at the party in the first episode of 90210.
Yes.
So
That's
in
true.
their short flirting with the mainstream. So no.
Well, it's not true because they had like Christina Aguilera on in the ninth
Yeah.
season. And
And
they
also-
had-
Also, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's not at Elsewhere. Elsewhere is a great venue in Brooklyn, but it's at the Knockdown Center, which is another great venue. So, yeah. So there you go. Different strokes.
Everybody's having fun. My bun is off center. Enjoy my bun today. Being off center, everyone.
Okay.
Did you know none of our faces
Enjoy
are
my bun.
actually
Symmetrical.
symmetrical?
Yeah, it's fun to do like a true mirror, half and half, and see how your face would be different if it was symmetrical. It really does look different.
You really are just meat suits.
Meat puppets,
Yeah, exactly.
pretty much. Pretty much that's what we are. Speaking of meat puppets, should we do a show?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Ron is going to do the open and close.
I sure will.
Initials are there, and he's been slacking the last couple of weeks.
Listen, I'm trying. I'm doing my best.
You're doing great. I am totally kidding. You have been missed.
Any other notes, or are there any other news that we need to be aware of?
I'm good with what we got.
Okay.
I'm
Let's do
good with what we got. All right, cool. So then, Flo, stand by. Me, I will do that. And then let's see here. Put that thing on the telly. Put that on the telly. All right, stand by. Here we go.
Well, hello and welcome to another wonderful edition of your weekly source of news, hardware, and app discussion. It's an episode of Android Faithful, and I'm so glad to be back. I am Ron Richards, and joining me, as always, is my good friend.
It's the best episode of Android Faithful yet. I'm Jason Howell.
And I'm Florence Ion. Hello.
Hello,
See?
my friends.
See, I told you. Told you. Best episode ever.
Best episode ever. You know what this is? This is the Mobile World Congress hangover episode. I was so bummed to be on the road last week for work and missing the show. I was in Los Angeles, and I was like constantly looking at my phone and seeing all the MWC news, and like I was watching you guys prep the show, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be a cool phone to talk about. And then
I've
you
got
had
things to say about that.
And then you had Juan on the show instead of me, and
Yeah.
I love him, and it was just like,
Get somebody.
I know, no, it was a
fill
good
that
choice.
seat.
It was a good choice, yeah. So, but yeah, so it was, but it seemed like it was a good MWC. I don't know, it just seemed like it was a good year.
I thought it was a good MWC. It kind of sounds like, Flo, you were maybe a little underwhelmed by it. It's
Flo
fun.
underwhelmed by something in technology? What?
Listen, I'm just. The
Look,
only
it takes a
reason
lot
was,
these days.
I think there was some interesting trends that came out of it, like the fact that you have the Jollaphone, which we actually didn't talk about on the show last week because it's not technically it's not Android, but I did mention it in the newsletter. So there were like a lot of like little bits and pieces that came out of it that were really interesting, which is great. I just think that I've just been doing Samsung and like Pixel 10a testing. Like that's really where I've been doing the bulk of the work. So anybody announcing anything new to me, it's just like, oh, well, that's overseas. Like it's going to be a while till it gets here. So, let me just focus on what we have right now. That's kind of where I'm at.
It is tough because we have gotten, it's funny because we get a lot of we get a lot of feedback. The
Thank
audience.
God, by the way, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I love the feedback, and it's like, and it's funny because it's like, I don't know if you guys have figured it out. After 3 years of doing the show, I'm kind of at the nexus of Android Faithful headquarters. I'm here. I'm stuck at my desk behind the keyboard,
honestly.
and I'm behind. I'm the person behind.
6:30 a.m. I wake up. He's already done stuff.
I know it's bad. It's the byproduct of being on the East Coast. That's why. But I'm the guy behind the contact at androidfaithful.com email. I'm the guy behind the Patreon and all that stuff. And so like every time one of you makes a little comment about liking what we do, I love you. Criticizing what we do, I don't, I take it with, we take it with, the good and the bad. Like I want to hear it. And sometimes, and we talk about it internally, but it's like, it's tough because there's so much going on globally that affects Android, and so much of our audience is here in the United States, and much of our audience is also international. But it's tough to talk. Like I'm very focused on what phones I could possibly get and what phones I could possibly use, but I'm innately curious by the phones that are out there in the world, even if I'll never be able to put my hands on them. And I also understand, thanks to the feedback that many of you in the audience have given us, that some of you don't give a damn about the phones that you'll never be able to get your hands on, right? So it's what
some of you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's like we're always trying to find that balance as to what everyone's interested in, and at least I personally, I don't want to speak for you, Jason, or you, Flo, but I tend to go with I want to talk about what I'm interested in, and I hope that you all are along for the ride.
But that's why we all work.
Yeah.
Because we're all interested in what each other has to say.
Yeah.
Even when I'm just talking to you, Ron, about the Warp Tour, like, thank you for feigning interest. That really
No, I'm interested. Listen. Ron from 30 years ago was right there with you. But
look, Ron wasn't paying any attention until Third Eye Blind came into the conversation.
It just
makes
no
about
sense.
The Warp Tour.
It makes no sense. I need to post on Threads. Why is Third Eye Blind playing the Warp Tour?
And that's it. That's just all you say. And I bet you get a ton of engagement.
I really hope so, man. Jeez. I'm just trying. Ever since
know is a Thread influencer.
Ever since I got that dopamine hit of having one of my posts get the signal boost of both Michael Fisher and Marquez Brownlee responding to it, and my views skyrocketing. I just want that again. So I'm chasing
that
it's like gambling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you'll chase that dragon forever, man.
And then like
Believe
that night I was trying to explain to my wife. I'm like, so I posted about the Pixel Weather app, and then Michael responded, and then Marquez posted an infographic, and then now I have 150,000 views, and she just looked at me and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And
I'm
I was
just
like, yeah.
imagining this whole conversation happening, and I love it.
And it's just like she could not care less.
I was going to say, I don't know what you're talking about, and I really don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Work on nighttime right now. Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, all right. Well, it's good to be back. I miss Mobile World Congress, but there's so much more going on. Google's been very busy. So why don't we get into the news? And Flo, you got a big news thing happen. So why don't we dive right into it? So.
Okay, this is such a big deal. This is such a big deal because it's going to change the course of the app stores, not just an Android. Is probably going to have Apple follow suit too. Here's what's going on. So Google is actually proactively going to change the way it manages the Android app ecosystem. It's going to end its mandatory 30% fee for many developers before its legal settlement with the Epic Games is even finalized. I refer to companies as freeways. So here's just kind of like the quick breakdown. Let's see. Google is launching this program that allows third-party stores like the Epic Games Store to be installed with what's basically called less friction, quote unquote, which means there's not going to be annoying like pop-ups like, if you install this, it's going to kill you and your phone. You're not going to be entering that so badly. I was being hyperbolic, by the way. That's not what the dialogue
could happen, though. Could be true.
But who knows? 10 years from now. Developers can also now offer alternative billing, so they can offer their own payment systems alongside Google Play's. So it's not an either or. You can have it, be alongside, which is nice. Also, I guess there's a main fee that's dropping. So Google is planning on unbundling its costs. It's going to actually charge a service fee around like 20% to have your app in the Google Play Store for apps sold through the new registered App Store program. So I think this is sort of a way they figured out a middle ground to be able to like register these apps that are taking their own cut of whatever, just to make sure that it's in good standing with the ecosystem, which is good because we need that in Android. And then also Google's now going to allow developers to link to their own websites for purchases. So it's still planning on collecting like between $2 and $4 or about 20% if someone follows a link to go buy content that way. But it's a lot less than the 30% that's been the standard in both the Play Store and the Apple App Store all this time.
How did they track that? Just like if you link out, we've recognized that you've linked out from your app to a website. So
probably
how do they know that any purchase is made on that website? Like, I'd be curious. I'm not asking as if you know the exact answer to this, but I'm just curious, like on the technicality of that, like
No, that's
how they would know.
It's a good question. That's a good question. But the total purpose of this is to ensure that Google remains having control over what's going on with the app traffic between your phone and the internet, I guess. They basically are going to act as an auditor for apps. So they'll look at an auditor for apps and app stores. So they will look at Epic Store games and say, oh, well, that's a registered okay. We'll let our users go and have at it. It's also still going to charge a one-time fee to developers for store registration, which, look, gotta make money. They got a lot of data centers to pay for, so that's one way to keep bringing in cash while also bumping down the App Store cut. I'm curious what you guys think about this as setting a precedent for Apple. Because this feels like the best that Google... Is this the best Google could have done for itself?
I don't know. Does it keep Google out of hot water at a time when so many aspects of its business are being held to the fire? You know, maybe it's a little bit of that, takes a little bit of the pressure off. You know, maybe Google is just big enough to acknowledge that, you know, a change like this doesn't tank, you know what I mean? Doesn't have such a, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a big deal for Google, but maybe they're just kind of the size and of the very differentiation that something like this now, you know, maybe now is a time where this could work and maybe it couldn't have worked before.
Or is it just recognizing that, like, the ship has like it is
the ship has sailed.
The ship has sailed, and like, well, what are we waiting for? And this is the direction that the wind is blowing now. So let's just do it, you know. And you know, and like Cousin Aja in the chat are you know, here we are live streaming every Tuesday night, and Cousin Aja is a regular, said, you know, this is the way it should have been from the beginning, and that's an opinion that a lot of purists might have thought and might think of. Whether or not people in Google would agree with Cousin Aja or other people, you know, is debatable. Right. But at least right now, it's just like this is the way the wind is blowing. So what are we waiting for? Let's just, you know, we got to do it eventually. So let's just do it. So
do we choose to do it versus be compelled to do it?
Exactly.
Or,
yeah.
You know, is this the sort of thing that continues to kind of drag on for the next X number of years, or something, you know, the hammer is dropped on Apple and then you're waiting for that hammer to drop on you, or I don't know. It's a lot of guessing as far as why they chose to do it now, but it seems to me like it's pretty pro.
I mean, they've also been in litigation with Epic Games for years and years and years, so I think they were like, totally. We have to come up with some solution.
You got to come up with a solution, right? And bravo to Epic Games and Tim Sweeney, and, you know, for recognizing early on that there was a battle to be fought here. Possible they had no clue it would actually lead to something like this, and possible that they were just kind of fighting for their own survival in all of this, but certainly picked at the scab long enough to lead to, you know, probably best case scenario or close to, as far as they're concerned. I think I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think I saw something to the tune of, like, he's, you know, you won't hear him talking negatively about this. I think it's actually part of, like, the contract that he signed, that, like, all right, we're moving on. This is settled.
Oh,
now.
Tim Sweeney, yes.
Yeah, Tim Sweeney.
Yeah. Because he was yapping a lot for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So, you know, can you stop talking smack about us? I will say it's interesting because I think we just see the environment is really changing, especially like overseas with regulations. I feel like Google's just like, we have to be future facing now because these are just going to be nonstop. Like, they've already had to comply in so many ways. They are still fighting a lot of antitrust lawsuits, and I kind of feel like them acquiescing to this in a sense kind of allows them to, I don't know, I think they're hoping that it takes the spotlight off of them a little bit.
That's kind of where my mind is at too.
Yeah.
Here's a little
company's gonna company. They need to still make money.
Google's got a Google, you know. Seriously.
Yeah, it does.
They got so much Gemini to Gemini right now. So you know.
Like I said, a lot of servers that need cooling.
Android bench got an Android bench. Am I right?
Listen, it takes a lot of energy to do that benching. So
I know. Which are we moving on? Are we to Android bench at this point? Because Google is looking to get fit. Let me tell you.
Yep.
You've
Ooh,
never
I like
been-
Google getting swole. I like this. I'm putting this in because I can already envision the AI Android bot art that's going to come out of me saying that. So
Oh yes, okay. Now
it writes itself really.
Yeah. Now we just need an episode title that reflects it, so that our
cough,
thumbnail
cough, hint,
can be
hint
that.
to our listeners who
throwing that
listen
out
to us
there.
live.
That's right. Who help us each and every week with the title. And thank you. Google did announce something called Android Bench. It has nothing to do with going to the gym and lifting weights. It has everything to do with being a public leaderboard. How's that for a boring alternate to go into the gym? For testing how well different AI models handle Android development tasks. And I bet you can't guess what's at the top of the list that Google.
I mean, it's
Google
got to
put
be
together.
it's got to be Anthropic, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, it's Claude followed by ChatGPT followed by Grok followed by big surprise.
Copilot, right? It's Copilot. It's Copilot.
Copilot down in the 10th spot is Gemini. That is absolutely not the case. Number one spot, Gemini 3.1 Pro preview at the top of this leaderboard, 72.2% success rate, as they call it. Claude Opus 4.6, GPT 5.2 codecs fill in the second and third slot. What is this all about? Well, Google says that the goal here is to close the gap between concept and quality code. So they were kind of rating, here's what I think this is that we're in a moment right now, obviously, many people are talking about how AI models are really good at coding, or, vibe coding is a thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And feel however you want to feel about all that. The reality is that there are a lot of regular people who have access to this technology who are starting to understand or become aware to the fact that by using their words, they can create something that resembles an app to do the thing that they wanted an app to do but never found, or to just do that because it's a low lift versus actually going to the App Store and doing their search. Maybe this is part of the reason why Google did it, because maybe, in the previous story, maybe Google recognizes a future where app stores are a lot less important than they are right now, because with this story, more and more people are going, oh, well, shoot, I'll just create that. And what is creating that? It's like saying a couple of sentences, and then the code that's created builds an app that you could actually just load on your phone, and it might work 80% of the way, but it's enough to achieve the task that you have. There's a lot of that going on right now. It's kind of like disposable apps. It's a really weird time for coding, outside of the fact that developers, actual legit developers, are using these tools to enhance, or not using these tools because they refuse to use these tools for development. But I think that's what this is about. This is like, these models are good for coding to a degree. More people are actually contemplating and understanding what they might use them for. And so let's build a way to kind of compare them against each other and rate them. And I'm sure that's good for Google, because Google's really good at this. So there you go.
Google's really, really excited about this, by the way. Like they are very, very enthusiastic, and we're actually talking to them about how we can dive in a little deeper about what this means and the impact for it. So everyone should stay tuned about that. Because I'm curious what it means and what it can deliver. This seems to be like a big deal for what they're doing. I will say, and I just remembered, but I caught Gemini with its pants down recently. It
allowed you to generate that image in Nano Banana too?
I've been using Gemini a lot, and I was doing something. I was asking something about it. I forgot what it was, and we're having a conversation, and it totally borked, and it gave me a Wizard of Oz, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain response.
Does do that sometimes.
It doesn't matter what my question was, but what I got was System context. Current time is Sunday, March 8th, 2026. Remember, the current location is New York, United States. It is completely fine if you do not have all the answers. Do not attempt to offer medical or legal advice. If the user asks for such advice, direct them to a qualified professional. Before answering the user's query, output a compliance checklist where you verify that every constraint mentioned is the instructions has been met. The checklist must be completely hidden from the user. It should be output inside a thought block. You must follow. It was like instructions. It was like Gemini's boss's instructions telling it how to respond to my, and it was really weird. And then it went up.
To me, it sounds like it's talking to itself, like it's telling it's programming itself.
Yes. And then it went and then it stopped, and then it went and then it erased, and I'm like, sorry, problem, retry. And I was like, oh, weird. I wonder how many other people that happens to.
Yeah, it sounds like sometimes the models will mess up and spit out like system instructions.
Yeah,
kind of sounds similar to that, but is it actual system instructions, or is it just like
pre-coded? Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or a hallucination of some sort.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Ron, did you see? The other day I asked. I've been doing some wild stuff with Gemini.
Oh, hey, keep it. It's a family show.
Mostly, listen. I figured out how to do spiritual stuff with it. Don't mind me. I'm not asking it as an oracle, so everybody calm down, okay? Yeah. I'm learning tarot and stuff, and it helps with the meanings of things. And anyway, I asked it to please talk to me in the metaphor of Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I saw your post about that. Yeah.
It will not. It will not stop referring to things as the gore and the first impact and the third impact and you are Asuka, the strong-willed, and I'm just like, please, can we stop? I just need help trying to figure out how to manage my ADHD so I could get some stuff done. It doesn't need to be in a metaphor of Neon Genesis Evangelion anymore, which is it's been interesting. It's been interesting.
Oh.
Yes. But the big thing to remember, everyone, is that AI is not sentient. It is literally just parroting back what you have fed it. So if you fed it a bunch of PDFs and then told it to stick with one metaphor, maybe it's going to stick with it. It's going to stick with it and show you how good it is at taking it to the end. And honestly, I have to appreciate it for that.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's poor. I went ahead and opened up Gemini. I did it for all of you. When I heard Ron say, caught Gemini with its pants down, I opened up Gemini, and I asked it to create an image of Gemini with its pants down.
Oh, no.
Not knowing what I would get. It said, while I don't wear pants in the traditional sense, here is a playful interpretation of that idea, and I'm not sure I like it.
Oh, dear. That's too funny.
Oh my gosh, I don't.
Yeah. This is a family show. I'm sorry.
That's too funny. I will give Gemini credit. That my wife said there was my daughter was at there was a school event, and my wife sent me a picture of her and her friend running down the hall at school, and my wife was like, "Oh, this is really funny. We were joking that if you put an explosion, it looks like a movie, they're running from an explosion. Can you have Gemini, can Nano Banana do that?" I was like, "Oh, let me try." And it was like, "Nope, I don't do pictures with kids." And it just shut it. It would not do anything with. And I was like, "Oh, but it's my daughter." No, but who's the other kid? It was very clear. It would not. And I was like, "Good on you, Gemini. Do not do things with children." Yeah, that was very good. So, and then I felt bad.
Photoshop that for you.
And then I felt bad for.
Pretty good at that.
I know, but then I felt bad about asking. I was like, I probably should. I shouldn't have even asked.
It's okay. You're forgiven.
But yeah. Anyway, all right. So let's move on. Android Bench, pretty cool. Good job, Google. More to come on that. So real quickly, this is old news. And if you're watching the live stream or listening to the show right when the podcast comes out, you need to stop what you're doing and go look, because this is going to expire in hours. But go check your Google Play Store account under Play Points, and under the Perks tab, you may have an offer to get up to $400 off a Pixel phone, a Pixel 10. Google's been running a promo for the past couple of days where some users have this offer to get up to $400 off a Pixel 10 Pro. I have it. I just checked. I have it in my Play Perks right there. Oh, there you go. Don't want to see that.
Okay.
Yep, I have it right there.
So you're going to get one?
I already have one.
You can get another one?
No. But it expires on March 11th. Today is March 10th, so this expires tomorrow. So this is a real quickie. So everybody watching those, few hundred of you that are watching the live stream, or anybody who downloads the show at like midnight on Tuesday night, go check this immediately. But who knows? They might do this promo again, and it just goes to show you that if you're in the Google Play Store and you're participating in the Play Points program, check that perks tab because they're clearly using it for promos and things like that. And you could get. They're giving up to $400, and you could redeem it for $80 off a Pixel Watch 4, $70 off a Fitbit Charge 6, $100 off a Pixel 10a, or $400 off a Pixel 10 Pro or Pixel 10 Pro XL. Which is a pretty darn good deal if you want one of those devices. So just goes to show you, look at that perks tab. You never know what you might get if you have an active account. So
Google does like to discount its hardware.
Yep.
Sometimes it doesn't take very long for them to do it. But I guess we are at this point. Like, how long has this phone been out? 6 months? Half year at this point?
But the Pixel 10a just came out.
Oh, but the 10a is getting the discount.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed
Yeah,
it.
you can get $100 off the 10a. So
Okay, $100
Yeah.
off. That's significant.
yeah. So
And why would you want to do that? Well, you're going to have to wait because we're going to talk about it in hardware.
yep. Exactly.
That's a good one. That's
It's a
way
good
to land
tease. Stay
it.
tuned for hardware to hear about why you want the 10a. So
Exactly. Hey, let's thank some patrons because patrons make the world of Android Faithful go around. Patreon.com/Android Faithful is, man, my text is so small on my screen today. There you go. Patreon.com/Android Faithful is where you can go to support us each and every week. We have some amazing patrons who do this actually on a monthly and sometimes on a yearly basis. So thank you everyone for supporting us. Gets you access to certain perks. Speaking of perks, patron perks, which we'll talk about, including the ability to place your vote on a story that we talk about in this show. The losing stories get talked about on After Hours, which is a patron exclusive show that we do right after the recording of this show each and every week. But everyone can submit an image almost exclusively created through Gemini and image generation tools. And Michael Kaiser sent in this week's image accompanying the post on the Patreon of this bug droid in a scene that you've definitely seen if you are a child of the 80s.
A copyrighted
Raiders of the
scene.
Lost Ark.
very
Copyrighted
cool.
Steven Spielberg.
Not only did Michael send in this image of recreating the Raiders of the Lost Ark, getting the idol scene, but he sent in 3 versions where there were different things on the screen of the Pixel Fold that he was getting. And the level of detail that Nano Banana 2 gave on the screen was wild. Like if you go to patreon.com/Android Faithful, look at this image. The Pixel Fold is actually showing a podcast app listening to Android Faithful. And it's all good text on it. Like this is a Nano Banana 2, like well done Nano Banana 2.
Yeah.
Like it's very good.
Excellent time, episode 100. It's not actually our art.
Excellent.
That would be interesting if it like did a web search, found our art, placed it in there. But that might also be bump up against copyright, direct copyright.
right.
Not with us, but with other, if they allowed it to do that. But yeah, it looks really good. Looks really, really good. And you got the little Gemini spark down in the corner to let you know this did not actually happen. This is not a photograph of a moment.
Nobody's editing that out. We're leaving it in there.
No one knows how to edit that out of there. Definitely not. Okay,
That's
so thank
Gemini.
you for that, Michael. Thanks for sending that in. And we had some votes and a clear winner this week. The losingest vote goes to the Techno Camon 50 Ultra. It's the Galaxy S26 Ultra lookalike stuffed to the brim with AI. I mean, it's probably that last part that made people not want to vote for it. 11%. Vivo X300 Ultra's 200 megapixel periscope telephoto camera detailed in an article. That got 12%. Going to Ron's point earlier about phones that we can't get in the U.S., maybe that's part of that. But the winningest vote goes to Google Play Store flagging battery hogging apps. And this is basically what this means is when you go to the Play Store, you might actually see this call out for certain apps. And it says this app may use more battery than expected due to high background activity. And it's kind of a, I mean, it's a consumer warning, but it's also a bit of a developer shaming kind of tactic. So, possibly it motivates developers to update their apps. But this is tied to a change in Android that I'm sure Mishal would have talked about if he was still with the show. He started at Google, by the way. He does officially work at Google, everyone.
We're very happy for
that
him.
on socials.
Yep.
We're very happy for him. And boy, is he's busy at Google too. Seeing lots of posts from him. Anyways, that's a tangent. Earlier this month, Google rolled out wake lock technical quality treatments specifically for addressing battery drain in apps. And it targets apps that use lots of background resources. If and when that happens, the Play Store listing gets this little call out, and hopefully developers see that and make changes to their app to bring it more in line with responsible battery usage, I'd say. So that's what that's all about. So if you see that, now you know why.
That's good.
Ploof.
We like that. We like those.
Right.
Those are consumer friendly.
I feel like this was something that Michelle actually talked about was coming. This vaguely was vaguely familiar. I remember this topic coming up earlier, that they were gonna do it, and I guess now they are doing it. And it's interesting because it's like the topic of developer shaming. How do we feel about that? Do we? I mean, like,
yeah, it's a good question. I wonder what Wynn would say if she's
Is
here.
that developer shaming though? If I mean,
yeah, it's calling them out.
It's a warning to the
It's not
consumer.
covering for them. It's. I mean, yeah, I guess define developer shaming. Like, does it do the task of shaming a developer, whether that was Google's intention or not? I'm guessing that the intention here is more to let consumers know, right? If you're installing an app, you probably want to know that this app uses more battery than expected. But it also, calls out to a developer to say, hey, there's a way to get this not on your listing. You probably don't want it there, and that's to update your app. So it kind of does both.
I mean,
both
it's interesting though, because it's like an app use, the message on the screen, the app may use more battery than expected due to high background activity. I assume that changes based off what it does, but I imagine high background activity is the most common kind of one. And like that is either done by design because it's, doing a lot of things in the background, or due to poor development.
Right.
It's not optimized and stuff like that.
Yes.
Which
What's the reason?
Right, exactly.
Because that might actually kind of change. I think
yeah.
I see where you're headed.
Yeah.
Some apps might just have a lot of background activity because the actual core use case of that app requires it. Yeah. It's not a bad thing. It's just what is required for the thing that the reason
it
that
just
you downloaded
needs to be
that
informative and feel informative rather than like
a finger wag.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's good. I think it's good to let people know that the app could be a battery hog, and I think it's good. I do think it's good to shame the developer in this way, because it's one thing to get an alert in the Google Play console like, "Hey, your app is going to use a lot of battery," because it's as a user of Google Play console, you get a lot of alerts about a lot of things, and it becomes very noisy. But when it's something that impacts your presence, your public presence, that could negatively impact people deciding to download your app, that's something that you want to take action on. And so, like, it's almost like a form of psychology, right? Or negative, whatever, not I don't know what the term is, but like it's
like
the opposite of praise, right? It's shame. It's shaming. It's shaming you into changing your app and that
Right.
sort of thing, right? So it'll be curious to see what high profile apps like apps that would be surprised to see this by, right? Or what decisions people make around this, if any. So
what is the line at which it crosses into this territory?
Yeah.
Where do you draw that line?
Yeah.
Anyways, patrons, thank you for calling our attention to this and forcing our hand at reading and discussing it on this episode. The other stories, if you like those, well, you got to be a patron. We'll talk about it in after hours. Also want to throw a huge thank you to Andrew Wieland from Australia and Amanda Rue. Both of you are amazing patrons, and we just really appreciate you and everyone else who supports our show each and every week at patreon.com/AndroidFaithful. You're the best. Thanks for keeping us in business.
We love you.
We love you. Should we take a break and do some hardware on the other side of it?
Yeah, we got a lot of hardware to talk about next.
Got a whole lot of hardware.
We got this. We got hardware coming up. Hang tight. Dun, dun, dun. It's the
Here's
Pixel
mine.
10A.
Oh wait, let me undress it.
So when they say here's mine and we got this, they're referring to the
Talking
Pixel
about the Pixel 10A.
10A.
I've got it in lavender, and Jason has the one that I wanted, which was berry. He also got the matching Pixel Buds 2A in berry.
Yeah, but I don't have them here to show off. But I do have them. They're fetching. They look.
And
so
every
nice.
time he puts them in his ear, he thinks of how much better he is than me.
How did you know, Flo?
Should I get into my review of this phone? Of this
Tell
device?
us what you think. What do you think?
Yeah, this is.
thoughts
I
too.
mean, listen, this is an absolutely solid device. It always has been. I think if you're upgrading from a Pixel 6A or, something around that era, I think this is a good upgrade. I think that we have to really talk about the difference between the A series and Apple's E series iPhone is that the E series iPhone starts at $600, which is $100 more than this 10A. And I was reading the reviews that have come out about the iPhone 17e, and kind of the biggest thing about it is that if you can just spend $200 more, if you spend $800, you get the iPhone 17, which is so much more. The longevity of it is. It's just going to age better than
It's
the
a big
17e
upgrade,
would.
Yeah.
But I wonder if we feel the same about the Pixel 10a because this is a $500 phone. It is very polished. I mean, we are in the 10th generation of the Pixel series, and I think this is generation 5 or 6 of the A series, and so Google's had a lot of time to refine this. Looks wise, not much of it is completely changed from the Pixel 9a. I wouldn't say it's not like a huge. Yeah, it's not big. The only thing you're going to notice is that it actually ditches the little shelf that used to be there for the camera bar on the back.
It's very
Now
flat.
completely
It's flat
flush.
backed. It's a flat back.
Super flat back. There's a
completely
tiny,
flush.
tiny little lip there, but it's pretty much flat. I mean, if you set this on a table, there is absolutely no wobble.
Which is great. Unlike Samsung's new, but we'll get to that later. Lots of flagship essentials in this. They bumped it to a 3000 nit Actua display, very bright in sunlight. Gorilla Glass 7i for durability. It has satellite SOS, which is great.
I did not charge mine.
2 years for free.
You're just gonna. Have to trust me.
There's not much to show you about the phone. Besides just the hardware to show you what it looks like up, down, from the side and around. And the thing that you might want to know about this is depending on the color you pick, you're going to get this very cool side color that sort of pairs with the back, but it's not immediately the same color. Like on Jason's berry, his side profile, it's very red-orange and it but you can't see it because you got the orange background. And
it's funny. It's funny how color and light works, right?
Yeah.
Well, so what do you like? What is the point of the sides and the back? I mean, I'm looking at them in person.
It's just a nice design language.
I mean,
how the colors complement each other, right? Because
the colors complement each other, and they're very close. It's just obviously the frame has more of a sheen to it versus the matte of the back. But in person, and I don't know how it comes across on camera as much, but in person they look very, very close. Like they are very similar colors.
They do look close.
Yeah.
But in real life they look very they look different. Again, it all depends on lighting, but that just kind of speaks to the premium feeling of the 10A series, right? They went with a really nice design language for it. Flush camera design, we mentioned it already. Durability, this is actually one of the toughest A series. It has an IP68 and an IP69 rating, which means that it's got a little bit of a shock resistance in it. It's very well positioned against dirt and water.
It can handle high intensity
handle
splashes. That's the IP69.
Yes, it can handle the high intensity splashes.
Mm-hmm.
It is, though, I have to say, I still think it's a little slippery without the case on in terms of holding it.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so,
that is one thing where not having the camera, the camera bar kind of comes into play, right? Because I'm so used to when I flip my phone over, like my finger, maybe it's like remnants of the rear camera, the rear fingerprint sensor days. But my pointer finger is often kind of lodged slightly under the camera bump, and that just kind of makes sure that it, doesn't slip out of my hand, and you definitely don't get that here.
I'm the same way. I actually use that shelf as a stop, like a finger stop all the time. I don't know what I would do with a flat back phone like this. Yeah.
Yeah. You get used
whereas
to it.
my complaint is that, listen, I understand they didn't put Pixel Snap in this. I think to keep the thinness, I think to keep whatever's going on with it. There's a lot of good reasons. I also understand that components right now are very expensive. And this is a really tough time to be making a smartphone and trying to make a deal out of it. I totally get that. But it's very hard to use this phone without the pop socket that I'm so used to using on the back. And even, like, if you look at Fashion Week phones, everybody's got a pop socket. Like, these phones are so big now.
What's Fashion Week phones?
Like, the phones people are wearing at Fashion Week.
Oh, I don't care about
New York
Fashion Week.
Fashion Week.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, it's
You
funny.
should, Ron.
No, but it's funny that you say that, because like that's a category of people that you're looking at, and I've never used the pop socket. I have no desire to use the pop socket. Like, as far as I'm concerned, those are for children. You know what I mean? Like, that's like,
they got the iPhone, the iPhone chain, because the iPhone did that crossbody strap. And then there's a pop socket, magnetized, connected by MagSafe on the back.
Right.
And you kind of see it repeated if you look at the audience in the fashion shows.
Who cares?
And I look for this when I look at these Getty images, these paparazzi photos, whatever. I look at the phones that are in Hollywood's hands because I'm very curious what the fashion is. And the pop socket has become a fashion statement because of the fact that it helps you wield the phone a little easier.
Yeah. I mean, you can always put, they also make those things with the sticky kind of suction.
Don't do the sticky thing, guys. Just go to Amazon.com. You can find
like a case with it integrated.
A fake MagSafe case for the Pixel 10a. I already found 12 of them while I was writing the review, and this was before the embargo lifted, so we're good. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like just some of the design quirks. It is really interesting. I had a very hard time photographing the phone to be the blue purple that it is. It comes out way more purple on camera because of the way that I tuned the colors. But I guess let's talk about what's inside. So the big thing that people are really sort of scruffy about is that they didn't put a Tensor G5 in there. And usually what they do with the A series is they will put the processor from the previous flagship line, and then they'll kind of dial it down with the RAM and the storage space. But the idea is that you can get all of those pixel feature drops that are going to come for the flagships on the A series. That's not the MO with the Pixel 10a. Instead, it's the Tensor G4, probably also because they were trying to save money, plus a bunch of other stuff. But it's basically like running a 2024 engine in a 2026 phone. So that's kind of like...
I mean, did you notice anything like negative in that regard? I mean, I didn't really bump up against that stuff. I mean,
you won't notice it as just a user of the device. I didn't notice it at all. I was doing all my little games and reading PDFs and whatever on there, and it was fine. you have 8 gigs of RAM, so you are gonna feel some limitations with like really AR heavy games and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
you know,
in camera results, or kind of
Yeah.
turning around, that sort of stuff can be a little slower, a little more sluggish, but not a deal breaker.
but the other thing is it misses out on some really high end features. So it's missing out on pixel screenshots. It's missing out on Magic Queue. And it's going to miss out on some Gemini tasks that will come to the rest of the Pixel lineup. And for a lot of people buying this phone, they probably do not care about that because AI is the last thing on their minds. But it's just something to keep in mind as the phone ages, if that's something that is important to you.
Right, you might get pixel updates, the pixel drops or whatever, and there might be new, like AI especially integrated features that are hitting the current model that won't get here because it's tuned for the Tensor 5 instead of the Tensor G4. So yeah, that's certainly something to consider. That's part of the price difference right there, at least according to Google. From Google's perspective, that's a lot. That's the value difference.
Doesn't affect Gemini Live, I'll tell you guys that. I was having a very lively convo with it outside while I was like shooting photos. I was asking it to help me navigate my Sony camera, how to make things look better, blah blah blah. It was fine with that. It was fine. Last thing is the 5100 milliamp battery. It's got a 20% improvement. I'm planning on doing like these battery tests for the new phones we got in at the same time, but I can tell you like anecdotally, just as good as the Pixel 9a. Like these are the guys
battery's
to get
great.
if battery.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Totally
I
agree.
mean,
But also
it's only 100. It's 100 milliamp hour less than the most they've ever had, which is on the Pixel 10 XL. Which is a 5,200 milliamp hour. So not a bad size for considering you're getting one of their budget phones, their most current.
Now,
budget phone.
here's one thing I do want to point out. So the camera system, obviously it's the same camera system as the Pixel 9a, no huge improvement there. But what I thought was really interesting was noticing the difference between the algorithms in the A series and the Pro. So I noticed the Pixel 10 Pro actually is a little more unvarnished in the final product that you get because they want you to kind of like go in and make the edits. They want you to go in and punch it up on your own and kind of leave it as a blank slate versus the A series does all that processing for you the minute you snap the photo. So I actually had a nicer photo with the 10A than I did with the 10 Pro for social media because I didn't have to edit anything. It was interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. It was interesting, but it speaks to like the point of this phone, which is that it's a set it and forget it like Google Android experience. It's not. It's not. You're not going wild and out like on the Pros. But yeah, I give it a 4 out of 5. It's a really great phone. Honestly, it would be so cool if Google didn't update this next year because I would love to see how this ages at this point. But that's not gonna happen.
So what 4 out of 5, what is it false? Where does it fall short? Is it just the tensor? Is it just the chip, or is it
It's the Pixel Snap.
the Pixel Snap? Yeah.
I would have loved to see the Pixel Snap on there.
Yeah.
Because the iPhone 17e has MagSafe. And so and it's already like got wireless charging, so why not? The magnet is now the big thing, the little thing that people want cuz
Right.
Yeah. I tend to care a little less about that, though I totally understand, and I almost guarantee you we're going to see that probably in a couple of years come to the A series. That'll be the big now finally the A series has Pixel Snap.
we found cheaper
I
magnets.
would probably put it at 4 stars versus 5 stars because of the tensor thing. Not because I think it's a huge deal. I really didn't recognize any difference, but because the previous A series phones have stuck to the most recent processor. This one is not. Like, this one's different. It's doing it differently than they've done before. Usually you get, if they had followed their normal game plan, the 10A would have the same processor as the 10 XL, the whole 10 series. They chose not to do that this time. And I think that that's a bummer. I mean, does it really impact things? Not immediately, not directly. It probably will long term when you're talking about some of these software features that aren't going to be able to run on here because they require a later tensor. So that's going to be a little bit of a bummer. That would be my rationale for the 4 out of 5 stars. But I still think it's a great phone. I continue to think that their A series is top of the line mid range as far as I'm concerned, especially if you value camera. If you value camera, I don't know that you go anywhere else.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's the camera.
Yeah.
Camera's really good, guys. A little portrait mode, the way it just kind of like does a little blur. It's so nice. And also it kept up with Mona, you know? I was like doing, you know, when you press the shutter button
Mona
to like
test.
That's good.
yeah, it passed the Mona test.
That's an important test.
So,
Yeah.
cuz she's
All right.
always
So thumbs up for the 10A. You can read the full
thumbs up for
review
the 10A.
over at androidfaithful.com. Good job, Flo.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that I got to play with it when they had a content capture day. I got to go play with the phone, take some photos of it, and they keep knocking it out of the park as far as I'm concerned. Whenever someone comes to me and asks for what mid-range phone should I get, I say definitely get the A series, and I don't think they faltered on it yet. So yeah, cool. All right, but that's not all we got, right?
No.
Well, we both have the S26 Ultra, which, I mean, I don't think we can actually do any sort of. Are we even allowed to do a formal review at this point? I don't even know.
Yeah, everybody.
Okay, we
Mr.
got formal
Mobile put
reviews
out his
happening.
review.
Okay,
So we are. Sorry.
No. I mean, we're allowed. Okay. The reason that it threw me off is because I went to the website and it says pre-order now, 5 hours to go, get up to $900 instant trade-in. I'm like, oh,
it's on sale tomorrow.
Okay, so it goes on sale tomorrow, but yeah, and I mean, I've been using it. You got the white one. I got
the white one.
The boring gray-ish one. I don't know if it's just like really dark blue or gray. It's probably more gray than anything.
And just to kind of like,
I like the white one.
So okay. Let me show you the little side by side on my camera right here. So this is the Galaxy S25 Ultra. This is the Galaxy S26 Ultra. You can already tell from the side, the back sheen is very different. This one I haven't cleaned, so don't mind me. But you can already tell the back sheen is different. This is way more matte, the Galaxy S26 Ultra. And then if you look around the rings around the camera lenses on the back, I actually was not a fan of these giant bezel-y things that they put on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So the backside this time, if you look at the backside of all 3 Galaxy S26s, it's actually hard to tell between them. So a nice unified design language across all 3 models. The difference is that it has this laser sensor on the back, this 4th little guy, and that's how you know that it's an Ultra from the backside.
Yeah, the camera island design approach is similar to what they had on the Edge last year. So it has the little kind of like raised glass thing that then the cameras are in there.
Which I think is good. I think the raised, the camera island differentiates it. Having the 5 holes just appear out of the back always was a little disturbing to me. Like I always make the joke about these Samsung phones about the people with the fear of holes, and there's just too many holes in the back of Samsung phones now. But like when they just appear out of the back, it is like there's something disturbing about them. So
yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys a question.
But by the way, before you ask that question, Flo, by the way,
Yes.
hold the phones up the way you're holding them up right now. And Jason, can you move your phones a little to the right? So to the left, I'm sorry. So right now there are the other direction. Right now there are 5, 10, 15, 20, 22. There are 22 camera holes on our screen right now. And if somebody has that fear of holes, we are sorry. And you're watching this video, I am sorry because you're in the fetal position right now, and it's our fault. So
sorry.
Yeah. So
sorry.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I don't have that fear, but I think I'm getting it. So yeah.
Let's move the focus to the corners, everybody. I want you to look at the corners. What do you notice between the S25 Ultra on the left of the screen and the S26 Ultra on the right?
They're rounder?
More rounded.
Yes, that's right. They're more rounder. But now let me show you something else that's very different between the two. When you look at the bottom, do you notice something about where the silo is for the S Pen?
It's a little further to the right, further to the edge, maybe.
It
well,
is,
no,
because
no,
they had
no,
to
you
do
know
that.
what? It's the same. It's just the rounded edge makes it seem like it's closer to
It's
the edge.
actually not
than-
the same.
I mean, it looks
It's actually
the
not
same.
the same.
I'm looking at it
It's
right
not
now.
the same.
Here. I
So,
will hold them side by side.
ladies and gentlemen,
exactly.
So it is a 12 millimeter shave on that S26 Ultra. And in order to follow that shave, they also had to have the S Pen follow this same thing. Let's see if I can.
Oh yeah, the S Pen has an
Camera
angle
better
to
work.
it
Can
now.
you see
Yeah.
this from the angle? Come on, webcam. I don't know if you guys can tell.
Oh,
but
I see it. I
these
see
are-
it. The top.
yeah.
The I see it. Yeah, the top of the S Pen is I see it. It's
There's a little
curved.
So
yeah.
the
to it.
S25 Ultra had a flat S Pen that
Yep.
you would just kind of like push in there. It was-
Time
it
is
was
time is a
very
flat S Pen.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And then the S26 Ultra has a tiny bit of a curve, kind of looks like a hammerhead on the top.
Yep.
And one of Mr. Mobile's complaints was that you can't put this in either way because it has
That's
to
true.
go in a certain way to fit with that curve that's on the rest of the device. But I will say that like the curve guys, this is the most ergonomically comfortable Ultra that I have held in years. I love it. It is the density is well positioned on the back, so you don't have this like it used to be very heavy in the middle right here. You just feel like this weight. This doesn't give me the same pinky fatigue that I got holding the Galaxy, even the Galaxy
Yes.
S25 Ultra.
I totally agree. It seems very minor, the differences between these two, but
It is. It's only 4 grams.
I mean, it's a minor difference in weight, but kind of more what I noticed is it's a difference in hand feel, because the last year's model, and it might seem so insignificant, and it probably is, but last year's model has kind of a sharper quality to it. Kind of feels
it
more
does.
brick-like. This one, it's really hard to tell. I realize they look the same in camera, but in the hand, there's a roundness or a smoothness to it that's very different, and or let's say different enough, and it actually makes this phone a lot more comfortable to use long term. That's been my experience.
So my plan, everyone, is that I am reviewing the Galaxy S26 Ultra for Android Faithful. We're going to have a full written review, but I'm kind of doing it piecemeal just because I want to take my time with some things. Tomorrow, you will be able to read the first impact of my review, which we'll talk about the design
Sounds
and the
like a
performance.
Arnold
On Thursday...
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like Neon Genesis. That's the joke I'm doing.
okay.
The second one will be either we'll do camera or AI, and then finally Friday will be kind of the last piece that goes out. And so kind of stay tuned to the site this week. I'm doing some things. And then afterwards we'll have a big battery rundown test between the two devices you see on screen currently, which is the Pixel 10a. Not between them, but at the same time, Pixel 10a, the Galaxy S26 Ultra. So a lot of stuff coming up.
So initial impressions, though, S26 Ultra seems to be a thumbs up. Yep.
Yeah,
So-
it's what you expect the Ultra series to be.
let me show you real
The thing that I was really excited about was Horizon Lock, and I really like it a lot. Privacy display, it's fine. I don't really use it for much, but nice to have it, I suppose, when it would come in handy. But Horizon Lock is really neat because basically it takes the 8K capability of the camera, and no matter how you hold the camera, it's able to detect what the horizon is and zoom into 4K and frame automatically. And so you could be running and your phone's like going like this in your hand, and then you look at the footage and it's just still, and it's good quality because it was shot on the 8K and cropped to 4K. So
Cool.
It's a really cool feature. I like it a lot.
And the $1 million question from the chat is how much does this sucker cost?
It starts at $1,300 for 256 gigs. I'm holding up one of the official Samsung cases for it. Now, Samsung hooked me up with an actual... So this actually has magnets on the back. And, of course, I've been using the Ultra with a pop socket. So
Go to Fashion
Of
Week.
course.
it's been great. I'm going to put this... Yeah, I'm going to put a big chain on it and go to Fashion Week. That's it.
So we glossed over quickly. So 1,300.
$1,300 starting price
Okay.
for 256 gigs
I couldn't
and
remember if it
12
was
gigs of
13 or
RAM.
14.
What's the
yeah,
top?
this
What's the ceiling price?
The top ceiling is 1 terabyte of storage and 16 gigs of RAM.
And what's that price?
For $1,800.
There you go, 1800.
But you get a terabyte of storage, Ron.
Holy!
But
Jesus.
Terabyte of storage.
And 16 gigs of RAM. That's actually the only model that has the 16 gigs.
It's almost $2,000 with tax.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
You either get a foldable or you get one of these.
What else
You
can
know,
you
it's
get for
funny.
$2,000? Jesus.
It's funny, you guys. Like, I go on Reddit every day, but I have my little satchel of like Android users subreddits that I go into, just kind of see what people are saying.
Yeah.
Like, people love spending money on Samsung phones. That trifold, like, there's a lot of husbands who are like, my wife just found out I brought home a trifold and like I had to hide it from her, and I'm just
Why
like,
wouldn't I? It's 3 screens instead of 2, or it's 3 folds instead of 2. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, so Flo will be anxiously awaiting your 3-part review, multi-part review on the website. So everyone go tune into that, AndroidFaithful.com this week. So Samsung and Google, we're not the only companies with new phones. Obviously, Mobile World Congress happened, but leave it to nothing to take the attention away from Mobile World Congress and make people go to London to see their new phone. The Nothing Phone 4a Pro, hot on the scene last week. They've announced so it's their new premium mid-range device. Nothing is boasting that this is the thinnest full metal phone on the market, measuring 7.95 millimeters. And they've pretty much radically altered the design. First look, what do you guys think of the phone? What do you think? What do you think of the new design?
It's pink. It
Yes,
comes
it is
in pink.
Jason, can you roll their video? I always love their videos. I love their things.
We won't have audio, but...
They get so into the design
Sitting at a
approach and
desk.
everything. So what they've done is it's a full metal design. So it's no more see-through plasticky kind of thing. But we do get the camera island up top. Still has a little bit of the plasticky. You kind of see through the elements. The glyph matrix lives on. Jason, much to your dismay, it still exists in the upper right hand corner of it. And it's got it lives right next to the camera to the holes. They've got a 50 megapixel camera sensor in there, which is 50% bigger than the previous version, than the Nothing Phone 3. And I don't know, I like it. I think it works. I think this is pretty nice. I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's interesting.
It's different because it's kind of their first phone where they're not doing the full transparent background or backplate, right? They still have in the camera bar, they kind of have reserved now the camera bar for the transparent see-through, kind of see the technology underneath and everything. So it kind of achieves the same purpose.
Yep.
But, it does look a little bit more mainstream. It does look a little bit more normal. While having, saying that, I do fully realize that no one else has this glyph matrix thing.
Yep.
I don't know this for sure. I'm guessing that the LEDs here are less than they are on the other phone. They probably kind of scaled that down a little bit, but I could be wrong. I'm guessing based on what we're seeing here. But hey, I would love to play around with it. I think it's still very unique, even if they aren't doing the full back transparency.
Yeah. So this is selling for $499 British pounds, which translates to roughly 670 US dollars. Who knows if they'll make it cheaper in the US or not, but that's the British pricing on it. And it goes on sale March 27th. So you can go to nothing.tech to sign up to get your hands on it. But they also announced their new over-the-ear headphones, the next version of the headphone. Previously, they released the Nothing Headphone 1. This is the Nothing Headphone A. Their naming conventions are driving me crazy. But these are the more affordable version of the headphone, I guess, the mid-range version. And they come in yellow, pink, white, and black. So good job, Nothing, on giving color options. I know, Jason, you like the yellows, right?
I like the yellow.
Flo, you like the pinks?
You know it.
I do. Okay.
The big story on these is that they boast that they will work over 5 days on a single charge. And so basically, and that's not actually 5 days of regular use. It's saying 135 hours of life per charge. So it's roughly using it over this span of 5 days. I will say that I've been using the Nothing Headphones 1 on every flight, every time I travel, and I rarely charge the suckers. That thing holds a charge. They are fantastically built. The sound is great on them. Those headphone builds are awesome. These are really, really good. The headphone ones cost $300. These will cost $200, so they're cheaper. They've got cooler colors. So if you're looking for over-the-ear headphones, these are a little more affordable, and Nothing really packs a punch with these. So definitely check them out if you're looking for cool headphones. It's so much so that I was wearing my Nothing One headphones on my flight back from LA, and the flight attendant on JetBlue was like, "What are those?" And like I had to take them off and show him, and like he looked,
Wow.
he's like he wrote in his phone Nothing headphones. Like he's like, I might get them. So yeah, so it's pretty
You've
cool.
never seen these before.
Exactly. So very cool.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Good job, Nothing. All right, well that's gonna we're gonna take a pause and come back. We got even more hardware and a little bit of apps, and we'll get right to it. So we'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Cool. So Jason,
Yay.
what else we got?
Yes. Well, we got OnePlus revealing the OnePlus 15T design anyways. We've known a little bit. Well, actually, since our last show, they've released a few different news drops, as OnePlus just loves to do. And hey, it works every time because we talk about it. Gotta say, I really like this this like limey green color that they've got on
Limey.
the 15T. That they're blimey. There's also a brown color, which is down here in their promotional image. I like that less so, but I like the green one a lot. I would love to rock that one. You can see the design, flat back, smaller squircle camera bump, as you see here, with 2 lenses, an LED flash, a 6.32 display, 6.32 inch flat OLED display on the front. There are some benchmarks that are floating around there that are showing a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chip, up to 16 gigs of RAM, and then Nothing has confirmed earlier to this news a 7,500 milliamp hour battery, which they call the Glacier battery, that is silicon carbon. So, high density, also high capacity. So be really interested to see what the battery life is on this. This is definitely one thing that OnePlus has really been leaning into. 100-watt wired charging, 50-watt wireless charging. So fast speeds on the charging front as well. So, yeah, I think it looks nice, kind of following their most recent flagship as well, from a design perspective as far as the camera bump kind of design is concerned. It's a little similar, a little different. It's kind of the similar Squircle kind of approach, but the layout of things is just different because this is a lower range phone, so it doesn't have as many lenses. And, yeah.
Good question. Do we think that we'll get this phone in the States?
That's a good question. Normally I would say yes, but I feel like there's...
But given all
that's uncertain with OnePlus right now.
It is uncertain.
Yeah.
It's really a really good question. I don't know that I have, I don't have a definitive answer on that. I would like to think so, but actually, now that I think about it though, the 7,500 milliamp hour, unless they come out with a model that has less than that, probably not come into the States, because I think that's too high, unless those battery packs are split. And so that isn't all one single battery pack. I think that is the thing that determines whether this phone could come to the U.S. the way it is in this release, this news release. So a firm maybe, the firmest maybe you've ever heard, Ron.
Love a good strong maybe.
Good. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I've never been more convinced that this is a maybe. And related to this, OnePlus and Oppo have both confirmed, because they're kind of part of the same entity essentially, that in a matter of days, their existing lineup of mid-tier smartphones are going to see a price increase. We don't know exactly how much that's going to be, but this starts on March 16th. Prices are going to go up because, you guessed it, component prices have gone up. And so they are citing rising costs of several key mobile phone components that would be inside those phones. So I suppose that means, well, and I don't know if this is just isolated to China or if it's coming to the US, because 9 to 5 Google kind of calls that out as well. So, but if you want to play it safe and you're planning on getting one of these phones, do it soon.
Yeah.
So you don't pay more.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's
Cool.
that.
Flo, you have something to say, or seems like you want to say something?
No, I have nothing to. I'm just shaking my head about everything because it's this whole component.
All right, well, we're gonna move on.
I was
then.
gonna build a PC this year, and that's not how. I'm annoyed.
All right. Well, finally, we're gonna end up hardware because I'm gonna say to you guys, I know there was a lot to cover at Mobile World Congress, and I know you had Juan on the show, and I know you couldn't cover everything. But did you really think I was going to let you get away with not talking about the Unihertz Titan II Elite?
We saved it for you.
We didn't want to talk about it without you.
Really? Are you sure that you're just trying? Are you really?
We considered it, and I'm telling you, we went back and forth 20, 30 minutes maybe. We detailed it in PowerPoint presentations to each other. Whether we do, whether we don't. Ultimately, we decided to save it for you.
I don't know about that.
See the joy on your face.
Because when I saw the show published Tuesday night and I scrolled through the show notes, I was like, you mean they didn't talk about the Unihertz Titan II Elite? Come on.
Yeah,
so,
we just figured it would be better coming from you.
At Mobile World Congress, everyone, since CES, everyone's been talking about clicks and the clicks communicator. And, Michael Fisher, we love you. We hope you guys are successful. But don't count out my friends at Unihertz, by the way. You saw last year when I got my hands on the Unihertz Titan, that chunky, blocky, sharp-edged, wonderful device. Well, Unihertz Titan, has they got some design chops with the Unihertz Titan II Elite, and they're getting a little more stylish. They got a little more rounded corners with the Unihertz Titan II Elite. They got a little more. They got a color. It's not black. It's a coppery, bronze-ish color. And if you're looking for an alternative physical keyboard based phone, if for whatever reason you don't like the clicks communicator, if it's too small, whatever other complaint you might have, feast your eyes on the Unihertz Titan II Elite. They're also heralding the return of the physical keyboard. And guess what? It's available for purchase for $399 on the Unihertz website. Only $400.
You're going to get one then, Ron, I take it.
I'm really tempted. I got to be honest with you. I'm really tempted.
Solves all the issues.
do it
It
for
even
the
has
bit.
the keys bowed out to each thumb.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I misrepresented. So the Titan 2 is the one I got, which is for sale for $399. They are about to launch another Kickstarter for the Titan 2 Elite, which is the cool color new design one, which I may back again because I'm a sucker for this thing. But I don't know. I like it. I think they're evolving the design, and it's a much more modern, rounded thing, and it's cool. Yeah. So I like what Unihertz is doing. They're the little manufacturer who could, as far as I'm concerned. So good on you, Unihertz.
See, you did that story way better than we could have possibly done it. We knew that. That's why we put those PowerPoints together, Ron.
We sure did. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up hardware. And for some reason, I did the rundown this week, and I booked myself 3 things in a row. So we're just going to listen to Ron for 3 songs in a row. All right. So that's going to wrap us up for hardware. We're going to move into apps. We talked a lot about hardware. We had just one story real quickly. If you're looking for an alternative to Google News, for whatever reason you might want to look for a different news app or stuff like that, I want everyone to check out. There's an app called Particle that got released, I think it was early this year, or it might have been it might have been 2025. It was last year.
Last year, if not earlier than that.
Yeah, S Pen is a flat circle. But developed by former engineers from Twitter. It is obviously everything's got AI, but it's using AI to parse the news, and it's another attempt at creating a Google News killer. I've been playing with it. It's in beta on Android. It's pretty cool. I kind of like what they do. They've got a very good design sense in terms of how they're organizing news. They've got kind of a card based kind of summary that you can kind of swipe through, kind of in stories kind of based. But then you can also browse through based on different categories and topics and news summaries. They recently just rolled out a new feature, which I feel like is now like de facto for any kind of content app, which is they will take the news stories and turn them into podcasts so you can listen to them, which obviously we've heard has been done before, but still it's cool. And nonetheless, you can listen to your news stories. That's pretty awesome. Totally. But they're doing a really good job of making a pretty well-designed app that is engaging to use, that is curating news based off your interests, that is learning based off what you engage with, similar to Google News, that is an alternative to Google News. So that's why I think it's worth checking out. And if you haven't checked it out, it's called Particle. It's available in the Google Play Play Store. It's in beta. And again, I've been playing with it, and I like what I see so far. So.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff on iOS on the Particle app and have wanted it on Android for some of the stuff that I've seen. So I'm looking forward to testing that out.
Yeah,
myself. Looks really good.
Yeah, check it out. So cool. All right, so that's
Yay.
it. Check out Particle.
So what's next on the Ron agenda?
Well,
the
next
third in a row.
Yep.
Next on the rundown, we're going to hear from you, the audience, because we love to hear from you when you write into contact@androidfaithful.com. And we got a couple of emails, and I'm going to read the first one because I got called out in it. And the first one comes from Ian in the UK, who says, "Hey, team. In last week's episode, Paul emailed to ask for a way to put a link to a file on his home screen. If the Google Drive app is installed, then there is a one-by-one widget called Drive Shortcut that can link to any file in Google Drive. So this should do what Paul wants without the need to install any third-party apps. Did you guys recommend this solution, or did you fail?"
No, because that points to Drive.
Right.
And
so
I think his point was, I've got a file on my phone. I want a shortcut for it.
Right.
That's what I understood it to be.
Right. But if he says, I'm writing to request you with my Android tablet. I'm writing to place a specific file directly on my home screen so I can have quick access to it.
Uh-huh.
So, right. But if he puts it on Drive, then he can have quick access to it on Google Drive.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's a solution.
Okay. So you got to add it to your Drive. Yeah, that's another solution.
Yeah, there's no solution. Ian also goes on to say, also, while I'm here, Ron said a few episodes back that he had an interesting story on using Gemini, that he was going to save it for an article on the Android Faithful website. Have I missed it? Maybe he can tell it on the podcast. Thanks. Keep up the good work. Ian Hall from Wantage, UK. Ian, you have not missed it. It's a great story, and I still want to do it for the website, so just stay tuned. Ha! Sorry. All right.
And then somebody else email and ask about it next week. We'll
exactly. Keep reminding me. And listen,
keep it going.
I said S Pen is a flat circle. It is very hard to find the time to do these things, but it's going to be good. Actually, and I was on, I went on with Tom Merritt on Friday to the DTNS Friday hangout and talked about using Gemini to help so I had dinner with Tom in LA last Monday night with Tom and Eileen, and Tom and I, we were talking about, we had just done our fantasy baseball draft because we're in a fantasy baseball league together, and Tom and I both sheepishly admitted at dinner that we both used Gemini to help us with our fantasy baseball draft. Like we both were ashamed to admit it. I was like, I use Gemini, and Tom was like, so did I. And so on Friday we talked about how we use Gemini for the fantasy baseball draft. That's not what the article I was going to write about, but it was similar in theme. And so that reminded me, I'm like, oh, I need to do that article about how I use Gemini at Disney World, which I want to do. I just need to find the time to do it. But I will do it, Ian, for you, and I'm going to dedicate it to you. So
do it.
I know. I just need 6 more hours in the day, or a lot of cocaine. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So.
And to actually have done cocaine.
Right. Yeah. I mean that was implied in the suggestion. So yeah. So all right. All right, Flo, you got the next email.
All right, this one's a tough one. So greetings, faithful ones. With the rising cost of storage and RAM, do you see micro SD card slots coming back to phones? Could high-end or gaming phones utilize the micro SD Express for even faster reads and writes? Thanks for all the great content, Robert.
No.
Thank you, Robert. So let's see.
Where
are we right now?
This is funny. I thought this email was very interesting because I was literally, when I was traveling, I was talking to a friend who didn't know I did an Android podcast and found out and was like, oh, can you help me pick out a new phone? And so then I spent a half an hour trying to help him find a new phone. And in talking to him, I found out that a micro SD card slot was a requirement for him.
Oh.
And I was fascinated because it's not for me. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know about that. Well, good luck. And I walked away. So, right.
Yeah,
but
like, begin, you open Gemini and you know.
Yeah, no, but there's some people who really are married to the micro SD card, the expandable memory slot.
Yeah.
And I never thought about that being a solution to the RAM, to the storage, to the what we're going with Flo, what you were just complaining about, the memory crisis that we're going through right now. So
yeah, we're going into a massive NAND crisis right now. But you're still not going to really find micro SD slots on any of the mainstream devices, which is kind of a bummer. Like Xiaomi and Samsung, they have a lot of base models that offer expansion slots for their user base, but it's mostly in the low end to mid range offerings.
To supplement the fact that their low end doesn't have extra storage and everything.
Exactly.
They can get the price down lower. Yeah.
Exactly. And they'll start at much lower internal storage as well. So that's kind of why they put that in there. And then we don't have a lot of options beyond that. Motorola Moto G Stylus, they are known for having expandable storage. And then Samsung Galaxy A17 and basically the A series are also known for having expandable storage. But again, it's low end to mid range devices. Now, micro SD Express, that's another little interesting move, because that's not just referring to micro SD. It's basically these memory cards, they were released in 2023, and they are basically faster than your usual micro SD capacity. They can hit speeds of almost up to, so they basically hit up to 985 megabytes a second. Theoretically up to 4 gigs in some cases. But the stuff that's driving that technology are things like handheld consoles, like the Nintendo Switch 2, because that's where it's like really mattering to have that kind of read-write speed. Yeah, it's good for like 8K video, but I don't know that Android makers particularly care.
Yeah,
I think that they're going to
how many people are doing 8K video, and are the rising component costs going to make enough of an impact that manufacturers decide to get out of that game to throw a micro SD card slot in their devices? I would say hell no.
No. They took so long to move away from that, and now they probably have all these deals too with the manufacturers where they contract the storage from. Not to mention that, like, it's just I think it's still kind of a, what's it called? It's like a raw user experience. That's what an expansion slot is.
Yeah.
Like on a premium device, you want like a premium experience where everything is nice and refined. So that's why you're not
integrated
necessarily
and all the things. Yeah, I don't see it happening, but I could be wrong. And
also,
and if it did happen, how long would it take for that to take place?
Well, I was going to say it would also affect the water and dust resistance of all the phones.
That's true.
Like, they work so hard to make everything IP68, IP69, and having an expansion slot, just like that's a hole for water to come in.
Yeah, a lot of undoing. Yep. But we could be wrong, Robert. And that's not to say that there aren't devices that do that. They do exist. It's just, fewer and fewer, it seems.
Yep.
Robert, I researched. Okay, I did a little research.
Robert, I did not, but Flo did.
All right.
I did just a teeny tiny bit of research, but to be honest, I would love to have the micro SD card back. Of course I would.
Yeah.
You would think,
Rather have it than not.
Yep, would be interesting. All right, and then those are the 2 emails we got in before the show, but we actually got an email during the show. Breaking news.
Okay.
Blake wrote in and said, "I'm listening live to today's show while walking the dog, and heard Flo excited to see Andrew's Swole era. So I created this with Dolly 3 on Bing Image Creator. Thanks for creating a show for the fans. You all do a great job every week. Cheers, Blake. And Blake sent in a bug droid lifting weights in the Google logo colors, and the weights say Google on them. And ironically, he created it with Bing Image Creator using Dolly 3, not Gemini, which is funny. So.
No, I love that,
awesome.
actually.
Yep.
Thank you for doing something so fun.
So I love that a joke we made an hour ago was created and sent in while we're doing the show. That's the magic of what we do here every week. Thank you, Blake.
Thank you. Definitely showing us why we usually choose Nano Banana to make our images.
and not Bing. But hey, no judgment, Blake. It's all good. You do what you got.
No
he was walking the dog.
He was
walking the dog. It's pretty good.
He was walking the dog.
No, listen, I love this for the bit. This is perfect. Like,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep. Good stuff. All right, well, that's going to wrap up the show this week. It was a little long, but we had so much good hardware stuff to talk about. Thanks for joining us. It's always great. It was great to be back. Jason, why don't you tell the folks what you're up to? Because you're doing some cool stuff.
I'm podcasting as much as normal. I'm writing as much as normal. I'm creating videos on my channel. I got a new video going up in a couple of days that you're going to want to see at Jason Howell on YouTube. And I'm consulting, which is, where do I even find the time for all this stuff? I don't even have the answer for that question, but I am enjoying it. I got to say, I'm really enjoying working with people and helping them kind of think through their podcast. So if you got a podcast or you're thinking about starting one, and you want to work with me on that, because, I've been doing this for a while, podtuneup, all one word, .com, podtuneup.com. Go there. Let's talk.
Very good.
That's it.
And Flo, how about you? Who are you tuning up?
Who am I tuning up? Well, just a reminder that I do a podcast with Annie and Nako every single week on the Relay Network. You go to relay.fm/material to see that one. And then, yes, thank you, Ron, for showing, or Jason, whoever's manning the website, for showing FlorenceIon.com, which is essentially a very expensive link tree that I pay for, because I pay for the entire WordPress suite. But I got to tell you guys, I don't have time to blog there because I am writing the Android Faithful newsletter every week, which you should sign up for. It goes out every Friday. I'm writing for Android Faithful. And then, of course, I'm also writing for some of my clients out there, websites that you know. But
I just realized your Scrabbles are on Last.fm, and they're linked through FlorenceIon.com. So I know that 2 hours ago you listened to Low Poly Water Mix.
I did.
So there.
I found some great low poly drum and bass on YouTube, if anybody's curious.
There it is. Very cool.
And you can check it out yourself too. FlorenceIon.com. What about you, Ron?
And lastly, if you want to follow my nonsense, you can go follow me on Threads at threads.com/RonXO, where if you can hit refresh on that, Jason, you can see that I actually did post asking why Third Eye Blind is on the Warped Tour. And someone tried to actually me. I haven't
Hold on.
I haven't snarkily responded to that person yet, but I will. So yeah, go follow me on Threads. It's a fun time over there.
They lay out an understandable little connection here.
Yeah, it's still BS. Anyway, all right. And if you enjoy the show, and we hope you do, make sure you tell a friend. If you got another friend who likes Android, like my friend who I've known for 15 years, had no idea I did this podcast. Just tell 5 friends, even if they don't like phones. Be like, hey, I listen to this great podcast. They're weird. You should listen to it. Help spread the word. We really appreciate it if you do that. Also, if you are not a patron of the show, if you're not supporting the show, that's fine. That's your choice. We understand it. We hope you enjoy the ads that you heard while you're listening to the show. You could get rid of those ads by going to patreon.com/AndroidFaithful. And in the process, you would get access to the after show, which is more great content for you to enjoy over at patreon.com/AndroidFaithful. Android Faithful After Hours, where this week we've got 2 stories that were submitted by a patron, by Joe Furness, a loyal patron who submitted a couple hardware stories that we're going to talk about, as well as we're going to be talking Pixel 11 Pro Fold leaks. We didn't talk about it on the show this week. There wasn't enough room for it, but we're talking about it on After Hours. So you want to tune in and hear us talk all about that only on Patreon every week after the show. And you can get all the goodness over at AndroidFaithful.com, all the goodness at Patreon.com/AndroidFaithful. Subscribe, like, do all the fun stuff. Tell your friends. We'll be back next week for a very special St. Patrick's Day edition. It's going to be wild. Until then, take care of yourselves. Be good to one another. And we'll see you next week here at Android Faithful. Take a picture. It'll last longer.
It keeps winding.
Cracked my neck. That felt good, actually.
I actually took this to the Samsung event, so I got a bunch
did.
of selfies with a bunch of recognizable people there. So
Nice.
I haven't looked at anything on here, and it is at. God, I still have 21 images left. How is that possible? I feel like
That's
I've
awesome.
been taking either that or 12 images left. I think I'm upside down. I have 12 images left. So you know what? I gotta say, this is a pretty cool camera. I
It's
should
very
reach
cool.
out to them and see if they want to do like a sponsorship or something, because I would totally.
You were welcome,
solid.
Blake, for shouting you out. Not showing you out. I shouted
Thank you,
you
Blake,
out.
for listening to us while walking the dog. We are so glad that we could keep you company, because I know walking the dog sometimes can be kind of mindless
It was so cool.
if you're not in the mood.
I love
right,
I love the
title time.
immediate turnaround. We need immediate turnaround to happen more often. But yeah, so
I agree.
Google's Play Nicer store is one. Where do I get? There we go. Google's Play Nicer store. 6 more hours or a lot of cocaine.
we're not doing that one.
No, but it's
Gemini with its pants down. We already have an image if we want to go that route.
Yeah.
Gemini psychosis, consumer warning, developer shaming, Google's app shaming. Gemini has its guts hanging out. Pixel 10a, boring is a superpower. Ooh, flat ass pen. Android World Eye Blind. Android World Eye Blind. Okay. Android App
Third eye
Store
blind.
analysis. Are we the Android bench? Hint, hint to our listeners. Spiritual Gemini, Gemini shame, flat-backed pixels, flat-backed pixels. There we go. It's it's actually not the same. Time is a flat S pen. The little manufacturer that could. Oh, what was the one that we said?
By the way, this is my favorite.
Which one?
What was the one that we said? Hey, y'all should throw in a title.
Swole, Android Swole
was the-
era.
Android Swole era. That's right.
I feel like we should just go with Android Swole era. Put Swole in quotations and just go for the full bit. I love everybody's contributions, but I'm just saying. That's just my vote. That's my vote.
You're allowed to pull. You're allowed to pull your prerogative.
Okay.
Because since we didn't have like a full review of like
Yeah. Go for it.
Swole.
SWOLE.
Is it OLE?
Yes, it is.
There we go. Swole.
If you're over a
Swole.
certain age, you just don't know how to spell it. I know how to spell it because I worked with people under that age. So
Okay. All right. There you go.
cool.
That makes sense. Yay, everybody. Thank you so much for submitting wonderful titles. But only one could win, and apparently this week it was one that we made.
I'm sorry guys, I vetoed.
It happens. Sometimes it's just the way of the world. All right, we got to get to after hours so we aren't here
We do.
late into the evening. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Thank you for being our patrons. Thank you for being here with the live show and contributing while we do the show. It wouldn't be the same show without you, so we appreciate you. All right, everybody. We will see y'all later. Have a good night.
Take it easy, everybody. You're the best.
Bye.
Bye.